Hey, welcome back. This is not a podcast. It's just my thoughts for Markman. I want to thank each and every one of y'all who are subscribed. Just all the people who click, on these videos. I don't have a set schedule. It's just like when I feel like I have something that I want to discuss, turn the camera on, talk to y'all for a bit, upload the video, and then we get in the comments. And, there's a lot of back and forth in the comments, which I love. A lot of thoughtful discussion. And so, look. In the title of this one, I posed the question. Now, I saw in my last video, actually, on the Drake Sexy Red song, You My Everything, a couple people were like, yo, you gonna review Grippy? Yo, you gonna review Grippy? So yeah, man, we're gonna talk about Grippy, right? So I posed the question in the title. Is J. Cole's Grippy verse really that bad? I'm gonna give you the answer. You don't have to wait however long this video ends up being. You don't have to wait till the end to find out the answer. Yes. That's the answer. If that's what you came for, there it is. I hope you stick around for the rest. But if that's what you came for, there it is. But, I'm going to backtrack a little bit because on this channel and really throughout my career, like, you're just not going to hear me dump on somebody for the sake of doing it. When I first started my career writing for magazines, I was doing album reviews. And that's all I was doing for XXL, The Source, 5 for a couple of years. 20 years later, maybe it excites me less. And even doing those album reviews, right, and really judging those pieces of work, still had to justify why you didn't like something, right? Also, as a creator myself, I know what it's like to go into the studio with a thought, with an idea, and to try to translate what it is you have in your head into something tangible or something audible, right? When we're talking about music. And, the success, or for me, I always judge the success of artists, or at least when I'm creating as an artist, is can I get what's in my head, which sounds great to me in my head, can I actually get that 100% like in real life? How close can I get the real thing to what it is that I imagined? But, that's just my process. But most times I'm not going to straight up dismiss something. And if it's that bad, I probably won't even cover it, right? Like, that's not to say that there's not bad music out there, but like, you just won't hear me be like, yo, that shit is whack. There's enough negativity out there. That doesn't mean we can't talk about things. That doesn't mean we can't talk about things that we don't like the same way we talk about things that we like, but it's a tone in which I do it. And I hope people could appreciate that, and again, a lot of the other stuff is out there. A lot of what we see on pods, a lot of what we see going viral in the media from personalities, a lot of times is the most outrageous take wins. A lot of times I see guys saying stuff and I'm like, yo, do you even believe that? And a lot of times it feels like wrestling or WWE. It's a lot of screaming on the mic. It's a lot of like Hulk Hogan. That shows you how long I haven't watched wrestling. A lot of times the most negative take wins. The more I yell, the funnier I can make it, the more I can dunk on somebody, the bigger chance that I get to go viral, man. You see people do cartwheels on these videos. You see people take off their shirts and beat their chests and say whatever they have to say, because it's all entertainment. And I recognize that as entertainment, but I'm just here to talk with y'all. What excites me the most about this is the conversations we get to have. So yeah, man, the verse is bad. Like, but I'm gonna get into the reasons why I thought, right. And what I could say this before I even start, undisputed, J. Cole's one of the greatest. Like, I don't think anybody can truly debate that. I know a lot of folks were upset that he bowed out of the Kendrick Lamar beef. I know like a lot of folks was upset about that, and I get it. And he's still one of the greatest. And it's funny, at the time, I remember there being such a visceral reaction to it. I mean, even me, I was shocked, just the way he kind of bowed out of that beef. But I did even respect at the time when he was like, man, it was just like him protecting his peace. And when he talked about being able to sleep at night and not being able to sleep after dropping 7-Minute Drill, there's a part of me that was like, yeah, I get it. Why would you want to sacrifice that? A lot of people was mad at him, though. And I think that decision, I think now when we're seeing how far Kendrick and Drake were willing to go, the things that they were saying about each other and each other's families, I think a lot of people understand Cole's decision more. Like it was like, okay, I get it now. That makes sense. Maybe he was tipped off. Maybe he knew that that was going to be the tone of what this battle was going to be. I don't know. But, the decision doesn't look as bad to me now as it did then. I know a lot of people still not fucking with Cole because of that. But I think over time, Cole will be fine. So what we're going to say is Cole is undisputed, just one of the greatest, right? I thought minus 7 minute drill, which we spoke about on this channel, it kind of felt like I said it that he didn't want to drop that record. He didn't really have anything interesting to say. He didn't have an interesting angle. He kind of just did it to do it. So minus 7 minute drill, which he took off the project. Now I might delete later, was a dope ass project. Like I still listen to it. Crocodile Tears is my shit. When he said, man, this hit my line when they want something. That's a dub. If it ain't love, if it costs something. And this hit my phone up when they need something. I can't recall the time when they gave me something. Like, dog, that has been my life. I've been going through that for a little while now. Personal relationships, professional relationships, just trying to balance that being there for everybody, heavy as the head that wears the crown type shit. But then when you're kind of at your lowest, there is very few people that you could call, if any. But that's just my own personal thing. So when I hear Cole hit those bars, to me that's one of the things that make him great. Like, bro, I relate to that song. I relate to those bars on a totally different level. So I think Might Delete Later, dope ass project. Like, I'm still waiting for the fall off. Cole's one of the greatest. Again, him bowing out the beef changed the perception. But still, there aren't very many people rapping better than him, all right? So the first record after the beef was Red Leather on the second Future and Metro project, and that didn't really count. That song had been finished for some time, right? That song was done before Like That. So before kind of the first shot. So that was already in motion. So the first song we heard from him after the beef was Red Leather, but I don't really count that. So then on Friday, we get Cash Cobain's Grippy with the Cole verse. And the record is really just a remix if you've been paying attention to Cash's dunk contest, right? If you're not really in tune to Cash Cobain, he's basically running New York right now as far as the newcomers go. He got this sound, it's sexy drill. It's a drill derivative, but more so for the women, just way more relaxed. It's not violent. Like, you know that the problem that a lot of drill artists are having in New York is just the violence around it, and that's calmed down a lot, but the violence around it, I mean, there's been shows canceled through the years. Guys haven't been able to perform like at Rolling Loud. There was a 22G show canceled a couple of years ago at Irving Plaza. Like, it's been hard for artists to move around because of the real life consequence that's been coming with drill music in New York. So sexy drill is just a little more chill, a little more toned down, a lot more chill, a lot more toned down actually. Last year, y'all know I work at Genius. We had the Genius Barbecue in Queens. In New York, we had Child Lee perform. He was on the bill, and he brought Cash Cobain with him last year, and they performed. And then, again, that For Sure record, Fisher, you spell Fisher, right? Like I know some people are confused. For Sure, spell Fisher, For Sure. That record, Cash got, is the hottest record in New York right now. So Cash is running it right now. I understand why Cole would jump on this record. One, to show love to the younger generation. I think all the greats have done it when you kind of get up there in age. I mean, Cole has been doing this way over 10 years. I think we're going on 15 years now, like really. So, you put your arm around the younger guy, like you kind of show love to the young. Hove did it. Drake is a king at doing that. Like all the greats do it. So you show love to the younger generation, and that's good to help give him a look, help elevate him. But it also puts Cole in front of a younger audience that may have seen him as, oh, that's the guy my older brother used to listen to. That's the guy my older sister put me on to. You know what I'm saying? Like Cole is we're not saying he's old, but he's definitely a couple of generations removed. So I understand doing this record. I understand why this record would make sense for Cole to do. The problem with the record for me, or with the verse, is that we didn't get what we love Cole for, right? Cole is one of the few artists who made it big being himself. You know, just go back to this Kendrick and Drake beef. Like, what's at the root of the beef, and whether you believe it or not, but what Kendrick weaponized against Drake was authenticity, right? Like how much of this is you, how much of this is a persona that you built to capitalize off of hip hop, right? And let's be real, all these guys are signed to major labels. They all have marketing departments and marketing gurus who will help position them. So there's a bit of that in all of this, right? But what J. Cole represents to us, I think, as a whole, is this authenticity, this untapped, this unfiltered, this non-corporate just vision. You know what I'm saying? And him being an artist. I mean, and as part of that is because we've seen that, right? We've seen the ups and downs. We've seen, like, you know, the whole story between like Workout and him putting out a single that he thought he had to put out for radio, right? He had to put out a radio single. The red carpet drama at the 2013 BET Awards. I said drama, it wasn't really drama, but the wardrobe thing when he shows up wearing the Versace sweater with the chains on it, and DJ Drama wears the same thing, and Brandon T. Jackson is wearing the same thing, and you know, Cole had kind of spoke about that, and this goes down in Cole lore as a moment when he was like, yo, okay, a stylist put the same thing on all three of us. Like, I don't want to fit into this machine. Shout out to my man DJ Drama too. You know, I don't want to fit into this machine. And so it's all part of Cole's growth as he starts to reject maybe these traditional industry norms. I'm going to be honest, in all my years working, I've never known Cole to have a publicist. I'm sure he's had one. I've never dealt with Cole's publicist. When he was on the freshman cover, I called him up personally. You know, whenever I want to kind of reach out or put a request in or whatever, like, I'll hit up Ebe. Like, you know, they're really, to me, at least from my purview, as authentic as they come off. And you know, I mean, and they were doing things from day one, like the Dial in the Dream tour and things like that. So, you know, I think Cole's strength is his authenticity, not really coming off as a cog in the machine or within the industry, though he is tremendously successful, and it does take a lot of people to get him there. But really, I think the most important relationship is not Cole's relationship with a label or Cole's relationship with a concert, you know, with an agent or a booker or a radio PD. Like, Cole's most important relationships are the relationships with the fans. And, you know, we feel super connected to him because we get to know him through his music and the things that are important to him. So I think now is a time post the Kendrick Lamar Drake beef is to lean into that the most, right? And I just feel like Grippy is a departure from that. Like, it doesn't really feel like Cole. First of all, he adopts Cash Cobain's flow, and he gives us a ton of superficial and cheesy lines. Look, this could also be a guy, like, at the end of the day, he's like, hey, man, I just want to have fun, man. I just want to be on the fun record. I want to be lighthearted, maybe something I don't have to think about too much. But, I mean, these lines are really superficial and cheesy, and he's getting clowned for it on social media, on TikTok. Like, Grippy, I call her that because it's Grippy. She thick in the hips. She a hippie. Like, you know, what else? She gonna chew on this stick like it's Wrigley's. Believe it or not, like Ripley's. She said she was gay until I slayed. Now she's strictly dickly. It just all feels very basic. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I was listening to the verse, and then when I got to, bitch, I'm gonna send all your kids to Disney, I'm gonna pay a little extra, they might meet Mickey. Like, once I got to that, I was just like, yo, what are we doing here? And these are we know Cole raps way better than this. This is not Cole trying to give us bars. Like, you also gotta, when you listen to something, think about intent, right? Like, what was he really intending to do? And I think he was trying to intend to fit into this sexy drill scene, to get with Cash Cobain and go into his world and kind of just set the record up so it was just easily and digestible. So I get that. I still don't love the record, or I don't love this for Cole, no matter when it comes out. The same way, you know, I didn't love Jeremiah's Planes, his verse on that. Y'all know the verse. I'm not gonna rap the verse. I personally did not like that verse at all when it came out. I don't like it now. But I say this, when he goes to shows, I've seen that verse go off. Like crowd, like singing, feel like it's a foot up in your mouth. Like the crowd is into it, right? So, it's another thing too. Like I could sit up here and I know a lot of cool guys, a lot of people try to act cool and be like, man, I don't fuck with that verse. I don't fuck with that verse. But then you see it go off on the shows and the people who are buying tickets are going word for word. So, I could see him trying to create another moment like he created on Jeremiah Plains also. Like there is something, like you don't have to be one thing all the time. So I'm not suggesting that he has to sit here and be this serious guy, this introspective guy, or this really guy who just pours out his heart all the time, right? Like you could, as an artist, you could be different things. You could paint with different colors, like absolutely. But what I questioned again is the timing of this. Like I think this verse doesn't feel so bad if it comes out at a different time. But I think after, again, the battle with Drake and Kendrick, where things seemed so serious, where Cole bowed out, where a lot of people was questioning what the hell was Cole thinking. Like, how could he do this? Oh, he doesn't want to compete. Oh, I don't want to hear another verse from him saying he's the best. Like, these are all the things that are being thrown around. And I'm not saying either that he has to listen. Sometimes you got to shut out the noise too. You know what I'm saying? And you just got to do you. But for me, I just needed something, or what I'm looking forward to from Cole was not this, but a record that will allow us to reconnect with him or connect even more. I want to see him after this, Drake Kendrick thing, to play into his superpower even more. And I think Cole's superpower is really, really, really connecting with the audience. And for this record, it was just a miss. But those are just my thoughts, man. That's just what I feel. Like I said, I think a lot of people wanted me to, a lot of people are straight up like, yo, it's whack. Or, I see in the comments sometimes too, a lot of people was like, man, just say this shit is trash or this shit is trash. And that's you. That's okay for you to do that. That's just not who I am. Like, I'm always going to try to really break down or get to the root of why I don't like something, especially when you're talking about a guy like Cole, when he's giving us, when the greatness scale far outweighs, like, by far, of the stuff we don't like from him. More often than not, he's giving us stuff that we love, that we can live with, like literally live with, like soundtracks to our live stuff. So owe it way more than that to try to dunk on him. But this wasn't it. But hey, man, I'm gonna be in them comment sections with you. Like, subscribe. Let's talk about it in the comments, man. What did you think of J. Cole's Grippy verse? All right, peace.